Chapter 3. What is God's purpose for the earth? What is God's purpose for mankind? How has God been challenged? What will life on earth be like in the future? God's purpose for the earth is really wonderful. Jehovah wants the earth to be filled with happy, healthy people. The Bible says that God planted a garden in Eden and that he made to grow every tree desirable to one's sight and good for food. After God created the first man and woman, Adam and Eve, he put them in that lovely home and told them, "Be fruitful and become many and fill the earth and subdue it." Genesis chapter 1:28 and chapter 2, verse 8, verse 9, verse 15. So, it was God's purpose that humans have children, extend the boundaries of that garden home earth-wide, and take care of the animals. Do you think that Jehovah God's purpose for people to live in an earthly paradise will ever be realized? I have even spoken it, God declares. I shall also do it. That was taken from Isaiah chapter 46, 9 through 11, and chapter 55, 11. Yes, what God purposes, he will surely do. He says that he did not create the earth simply for nothing, but formed it even to be inhabited. From Isaiah chapter 45, verse 18. What kind of people did God want to live on the earth? And for how long did he want them to live here? The Bible answers, the righteous themselves will possess the earth, and they will reside forever upon it. Taken from Psalm 37, verse 29, and Revelation 21, 3 and 4. Obviously, this has not happened yet. People now get sick and die. They even fight and kill one another. Something went wrong. Surely, however, God did not purpose that the earth should be as we see it today. What happened? Why has God's purpose not been fulfilled? No history book written by man can tell us, because the trouble started in heaven. The origin of an enemy. The first book of the Bible tells of an opposer of God who showed up in the Garden of Eden. He is described as the serpent, but he was not a mere animal. The last book of the Bible identifies him as the one called Devil and Satan, who is misleading the entire inhabited earth. He is also called the original serpent. Taken from Genesis chapter 3, verse 1, and Revelation chapter 12, verse 9. This powerful angel, or invisible spirit creature, used a serpent to speak to Eve, even as a skilled person can make it seem that his voice is coming from a nearby doll or dummy. That spirit person had no doubt been present when God prepared the earth for humans, from Job 38, 4 through 7. Since all of Jehovah's creations are perfect, however, who made this devil, this Satan? Put simply, one of the powerful spirit sons of God turned himself into the devil. How is this possible? Well, today a person who was once decent and honest may become a thief. However, how does that happen? The person may allow a wrong desire to develop in his heart. If he keeps thinking about it, that wrong desire may become very strong. Then if the opportunity presents itself, he may act upon the bad desire that he has been thinking about. From James 1, 13 through 15. Let's go there. James 1, 13 through 15. It's at James 1:13 through 15. When under trial, let no one say, I am being tired. Oh, I'm sorry. Camera can't adjust that. I'm being tried by God. For with evil things God cannot be tried, nor does he himself try anyone. But each one is tried by being drawn out, enticed by his own desires. Then the desire, when it has become fertile, gives birth to sin. In turn, sin, when it has been accomplished, brings forth death. I apologize that the camera can't exactly see all that. But that was James. This happened in the case of Satan the devil. He apparently heard God tell Adam and Eve to have children and to fill the earth with their offspring. Genesis 1:27-28. Let's go there. Genesis 1:27-28. Genesis 27 and 28. And God proceeded to create the man in his image. In God's image he created him. Male and female he created them. Further, God blessed them, and God said to them, Be fruitful and become many, and fill the earth and subdue it, and have in subjection the fish of the sea and the flying creatures of the heavens and every living creature that is moving upon the earth. Where were we? Okay. Why all these humans could worship me rather than God? Satan evidently thought. So a wrong desire built up in his heart. Eventually, he took action to deceive Eve by telling her lies about God. Genesis 3:1-5. He thus became a devil, which means slanderer. At the same time, he became Satan, which means opposer. Let's go to Genesis 3:1-5. Genesis 3:1-5. Genesis 3 and 1-5. Now the serpent proved to be the most cautious of all the wild beasts of the field that Jehovah God had made. So it began to say to the woman, sorry, I lost my place. So it began to say to the woman, Is it really so that God said, You must not eat from every tree of the garden? At this the woman said to the serpent, Of the fruit of the tree of the garden we may eat. But as for eating of the fruit of the tree that is in the middle of the garden, God has said, You must not eat from it. No, you must not touch it, that you do not die. At this the serpent said to the woman, You positively will not die. For God knows that in the very day of your eating from it, your eyes are bound to be open, and you are bound to be like God, knowing good and bad. Back to the paragraph. By using lies and trickery, Satan the devil caused Adam and Eve to disobey God. Genesis 2:17 and 3 and 6. As a result, they eventually died, as God had said they would if they disobeyed. From Genesis 3:17-19. Since Adam became imperfect when he sinned, all of his offspring inherited sin from him. Romans 5:12. The situation might be illustrated with a pan used for baking bread. If the pan has a dent in it, what happens to each loaf of bread made in the pan. Each loaf has a dent or an imperfection in it. Similarly, each human has inherited a dent of imperfection from Adam. That is why all humans grow old and die. Romans chapter 3, verse 23. When Satan led Adam and Eve into sinning against God, he was really leading a rebellion. He was challenging Jehovah's way of ruling. In effect, Satan was saying, God is a bad ruler. He tells lies and holds back good things from his subjects. Humans do not need to have God ruling over them. They can decide for themselves what is good and what is bad, and they will be better off under my rulership. How would God handle such an insulting challenge? Some think that God should simply have put the rebels to death, but would that have answered Satan's challenge? Would it have proved that God's way of ruling is right? Jehovah's perfect sense of justice would not allow him to put the rebels to death right away. He decided that time was needed to answer Satan's challenge in a satisfying way and to prove that the devil is a liar. So God determined that he would permit humans to rule themselves for some time under Satan's influence. Why Jehovah did that and why he has allowed so much time to pass before settling these issues will be discussed in chapter 11 of this book. Now, though, it is good to think about this. Were Adam and Eve right to believe Satan, who had never done anything good for them? Was it right for them to believe that Jehovah, who had given them everything they had, is a cruel liar? What would you have done? It is good to think about these questions because each of us faces similar issues today. Yes, you have the opportunity to support Jehovah's side in answer to Satan's challenge. You can accept Jehovah as your ruler and help to show that Satan is a liar. Psalm chapter 73, verse 28, and Proverbs chapter 27:11. Sadly, only a few among the billions of people in this world make such a choice. This raises an important question. Does the Bible really teach that Satan rules this world? How could Satan have offered Jesus all the kingdoms of the world if he did not own them? You see Satan offering Jesus all the kingdoms of the world in this picture. And of course, Jesus is facing away from that. A really good question there. So who rules this world? Jesus never doubted that Satan is the ruler of this world. In some miraculous way, Satan once showed Jesus all the kingdoms of the world and their glory. Satan then promised Jesus, all these things I will give you if you fall down and do an act of worship to me. Taken from Matthew chapter 4 and 8 and 9. And then Luke 4 verse 5, verse 6. Think about this. Would that offer have been a temptation to Jesus if Satan was not the ruler of these kingdoms? Jesus did not deny that all these worldly governments were Satan's. Surely Jesus would have done that if Satan was not the power behind them. So let's go to Matthew chapter 4, verse 8 and 9. Matthew chapter 4 and verse 8 and 9. Again, the devil took him along to an unusually high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their glory. And he said to him, all these things I will give you if you fall down and do an act of worship to me. So there it is right there. And where are we? We are right here. And back to the paragraph. Of course, Jehovah is the Almighty God, the creator of the marvelous universe. Revelation chapter 4:11. Let's go there right quick. Revelation chapter 4 and 11. Revelation chapter 4. Revelation chapter 4 and verse 11. You are worthy, Jehovah, even our God, to receive the glory and the honor and the power, because you created all things, and because of your will they existed and were created. Back to the paragraph. Yet, nowhere does the Bible say that either Jehovah God or Jesus Christ is ruler of this world. In fact, Jesus specifically referred to Satan as the ruler of this world. John chapter 12, verse 31, and chapter 14, verse 30, and chapter 16, verse 11. The Bible even refers to Satan the devil as the god of this system of things, taken from 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 3, verse 4. Sorry about that. Regarding this opposer, or Satan, the Christian apostle John wrote, "The whole world is lying in the power of the wicked one," taken from 1 John chapter 5, verse 19. How Satan's world will be removed. With each passing year, the world is becoming more and more dangerous. It is overrun with warring armies, dishonest politicians, hypocritical religious leaders, and hardened criminals. The world as a whole is beyond reform. The Bible reveals that the time is near when God will eliminate the wicked world during his war of Armageddon. This will make way for a righteous new world. Revelation chapter 16, 14 through 16. Let's go to Revelation 16. Revelation 16, 14 through 16. Revelation 16 and 14 through 16. Revelation 16 and 14 through 16. They are, in fact, expressions inspired by demons and perform. Let me make sure I'm reading that right. 14 through 16. They are, in fact, expressions inspired by demons and perform signs, and they go forth to the kings of the entire inhabited earth to gather them together to the war of the great day of the Almighty. Look, I am coming as a thief. Happy is the one that stays awake and keeps his outer garments, that he may not walk naked and people look upon his shamefulness. And they gathered them together to the place that is called in Hebrew Harmageddon, or Armageddon. Okay. Now back to the paragraph. Jehovah God selected Jesus Christ to be ruler of his heavenly kingdom or government. Long ago, the Bible foretold, "Unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Prince of Peace. Of the increase of his government and peace there shall be no end." Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6 and 7 in King James Version. Regarding this government, Jesus taught his followers to pray, "Let your kingdom come, let your will take place, as in heaven, also upon earth." Matthew chapter 6, verse 10. As we will see later in this book, God's kingdom will soon remove all the governments of this world, and it itself will replace all of them. Daniel chapter 2, verse 44. Then God's kingdom will usher in an earthly paradise. Let's go to Daniel chapter 2. Daniel chapter 2. Where is Daniel? Daniel. 11:31. So Daniel chapter 2, verse 44. Daniel chapter 2 and verse 44. Verse 44. And in the days of those kings, the God of heaven will set up a kingdom that will never be brought to ruin, and the kingdom itself will not be passed on to any other people. It will crush and put an end to all these kingdoms, and it itself will stand to times indefinite. A new world is at hand. The Bible assures us there are new kingdoms, there are new heavens and a new earth that we are awaiting according to God's promise. And in these righteousness is to dwell. 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 13. Isaiah chapter 65 verse 17. Sometimes when the Bible speaks of the earth, it means the people who live on the earth. So that's Genesis 11 verse 1. Let's go there. Genesis 11. Genesis 11 and verse 1. Now all the earth continued to be of one language and one set of words, as we can certainly see. It is talking about the people who reside in the earth. So the righteous new earth is a society of people who receive God's approval. Jesus promised that in the coming new world, those approved by God would receive the gift of everlasting life. Mark chapter 10, verse 30. Please open your Bible to John chapter 3, verse 16, and chapter 17, verse 3, and read what Jesus said we must do to receive everlasting life. Now consider from the Bible the blessings that would be enjoyed by those who qualify for that wonderful gift from God in the coming earthly paradise. So then let's go to John chapter 3, verse 16. John chapter 3, verse 16. John 13:27. At John 3:16. John 3:16. John chapter 3 and verse 16. For God loved the world so much that he gave his only begotten Son, in order that everyone exercising faith in him might not be destroyed, but have everlasting life. Now let's go to chapter 17 and 3. Chapter 17, John, chapter 17 and verse 3. This means everlasting life. They're taking knowledge of you, the only true God, and of the one whom you sent forth, Jesus Christ. Okay. Wickedness, warfare, crime, and violence will be gone. The wicked one will be no more. but the meek ones themselves will possess the earth. Taken from Psalm chapter 37, verse 10 and 11. Peace will exist because God will make wars cease to the ends of the earth. Psalm chapter 46, 9, Isaiah chapter 2, verse 4. Then the righteous one will sprout in the abundance of peace until the moon is no more. And that means forever. Psalm chapter 72, 7. Let's go there. Psalm chapter 72. Psalm chapter 72. Psalm chapter 72, verse 7. Psalm chapter 72 and verse 7. In his days the righteous one will sprout, in the abundance of peace until the moon is no more. Back to the paragraph. Jehovah's worshippers will live in security. As long as the Israelites in Bible times obeyed God, they lived in security. Leviticus chapter 25, verse 18-19. How wonderful it will be to enjoy similar security in paradise. Isaiah chapter 32, 18, and Micah chapter 4, 4. So let's go to Isaiah chapter 32. Isaiah chapter 32. Isaiah chapter 32, verse 18. Isaiah chapter 32 and verse 18. And my people must dwell in a peaceful abiding place, and in residences of full confidence, and in undisturbed resting places. Adjusting the camera. Back to the paragraph. Food shortages will not exist. There will come to be plenty of grain on the earth, saying the psalmist. On the top of the mountains there will be an overflow. Taken from Psalm chapter 32, verse 16. Jehovah God will bless his righteous ones, and the earth itself will certainly give its produce. Taken from Psalm chapter 67, verse 6. The whole earth will become a paradise. Lovely new homes and gardens will occupy land that have once been ruined by sinful humans. Isaiah chapter 65, verse 21 through 24. Revelation chapter 11, verse 18. As time passes, parts of the earth already subdued will expand until the whole globe is as beautiful and productive as the Garden of Eden. And God will never fail to open his hand and satisfy the desire of every living thing. Psalm chapter 145, verse 16. There will be peace between humans and animals. Wild and domestic animals will feed together. Even a little child will have nothing to fear from animals that are now dangerous. Isaiah chapter 11, 6 through 9, and chapter 65, 25. So let's go to Isaiah chapter 11. Isaiah chapter 11, 6 through 9. Isaiah chapter 11 and 6 through 9. And the wolf will actually reside for a while with the male lamb, and with the kid the leopard itself will lie down, and the calf and the main young lion and the well-fed animal all together, and a mere little boy will be leader over them. And the cow and the bear themselves will feed. Together their young ones will lie down, and even the lion will eat straw just like the bull. Now let's reread that one again. And even the lion will eat straw just like the bull. Moving on. And the sucking child will certainly play upon the hole of the cobra, and upon the light aperture of a poisonous snake will a weaned child actually put his own hand. They will not do any harm or cause any ruin in all my holy mountain, because the earth will certainly be filled with the knowledge of Jehovah as the waters are covering the very sea. Wow, now wasn't that wonderful? And here we have a very beautiful picture. I believe these are people who are depicted in paradise. That could be you if you exercise faith in Jehovah and the one whom He sent forth, Jesus Christ. That could be you and your family. Back to the paragraph. Sickness will vanish. As ruler of God's heavenly kingdom, Jesus would do healing on a far grander scale than when He was on earth. Matthew chapter 9, verse 35, Mark chapter 1, verse 40, and verse 42, or 40 through 42. John chapter 5, verses 5 through 9. Then no resident will say, I am sick. Isaiah chapter 33, verse 24. Chapter 35, verse 5, verse 6. Dead loved ones will be restored to life with the prospect of never dying. All those sleeping in death who are in God's memory will be brought back to life. In fact, there is going to be a resurrection of both the righteous and the unrighteous. Taken from Acts chapter 24, verse 15. John chapter 5, verse 28, verse 29. What a marvelous future awaits those who choose to learn about our grand Creator, Jehovah God, and to serve Him. It was to the coming paradise on earth that Jesus pointed when He promised the evildoer who died alongside Him, you will be with me in paradise. Luke chapter 23, verse 43. It is vital that we learn more about Jesus Christ, through whom all these blessings will be made possible. So let's go to Luke chapter 23. Luke chapter 23, verse 43. Luke chapter 23 and verse 43. And he said to him, truly I tell you today, you will be with me in paradise. So, what the Bible teaches, God's purpose to make the earth a paradise will be fulfilled. Isaiah chapter 45, verse 18, chapter 55, verse 11. Satan now rules this world. John chapter 12, verse 31, and 1 John chapter 5, verse 19. In the coming new world, God will bestow many blessings on mankind. So let's go to our first one, Isaiah chapter 45, verse 18. Isaiah chapter 45 and verse 18. For this is what Jehovah said, the creator of the heavens, He the true God, the former of the earth, and the maker of it, He the one who firmly established it, who did not create it simply for nothing, who formed it even to be inhabited. I am Jehovah, and there is no one else. And that was that one. And let's go to chapter 55, 11. Chapter 55, Isaiah chapter 55 and 11. I apologize for the video on this part. So my word that goes forth from my mouth will prove to be, and it will not return to me without results, but will certainly do that in which I have delighted, and it will have certain success in that for which I have sent it. And now let's go to Satan now rules this world. John chapter 12. Time to go to the beginning of the book. John 13:27. John chapter 12. John chapter 12, 31. John chapter 12 and verse 31. John chapter 12, verse 31. Now there is a judging of this world. Now the ruler of this world will be cast out. And also 1 John chapter 5. It says 1 John chapter 5. 1 John chapter 5 and verses 19. 1 John chapter 5 verse 19. We know we originate with God, but the whole world is lying in the power of the wicked one. And I was saying now rules this world. And the next one is, in the coming new world, God will bestow many blessings on mankind. Psalm chapter 37, verse 10. Let's go there. Psalm 37, verse 10. Psalm chapter 37, verse 10. And just a little while longer, and the wicked one will be no more. And you will certainly give attention to his place, and he will not be. And we also have 11 and 29. And the meek ones themselves will possess the earth, and they will indeed find their exquisite delight in the abundance of peace. And 29. The righteous themselves will possess the earth, and they will reside forever upon it. Okay, and that was 10, 11, and 29. In the coming new world, God will bestow many blessings on mankind. Our next chapter will be chapter 4. Who is Jesus Christ? But now, if you will like, we have some questions for you to answer. I hope that you will like to answer. I hope that you do try to answer these. From the beginning of chapter 3. What is God's purpose for mankind? How has God been challenged? What will life on earth be like in the future? So if you would like to answer these, please leave your answer or comment in the comment section below this video. And if you like what you are learning and wish to stay with me for future uploads of this chapter, of this book, What Does the Bible Really Teach? I hope that you click the subscribe button so that you can stay tuned for more information provided by this book from Jehovah's Witnesses. And I encourage you to go to a nearby Kingdom Hall if you are more than willing. And thank you for taking this time out of your day to read this book. What does the Bible really teach? I hope you appreciate it, and if you have any questions or comments, please do leave them in the comment section below this video. Thank you very much.